I try not to cry, but I did. Thank you, Gina. Love you so much. I'm so honored to be here. We locked hands together, and like I said, no cancer, nothing. I'm gonna kick cancer's ass, big time. And I've been doing this, and with all this, we can do it all together as women. And it's, to be honest with you, my journey would have never been this successful if I didn't have my tribe. And back in November last year, me and Gina went to a women conference, and was like the best 3 days away from kids. I love my kids, I love my husband, but you know what? I needed just girls' time. Was me and Gina. I had to leave her at the conference and go watch my son run cross country. So it was about 45 minutes. I left. In my car, I was crying. I was like, why am I crying? I'm away from the kids, the husband, supposed to be fun. I was like, started praying. It's like, God, all I'm asking you, I just want godly woman in my life. Like, weeping. It's like, is this why am I praying for this? And fast forward, in March, actually in January, we went to this amazing lake getaway with my girlfriends that at that time I didn't know we're gonna be girlfriends this close. And when the COVID hit, we started having something called driveway drinkers. We didn't get drunk, like maybe water, maybe vodka, maybe wine, whatever. Some people didn't drink anything, but we celebrated each other. We cried, we laughed, we just, celebrated life because things were tough with the COVID, everything hitting. One day, one of my friends was telling us about a friend of her that was changing, and she looked at herself, looked at her breast, and she's like, went after her husband, she's like, hey, look at this. Like, my nipple looks funny, it's like inward. And he looked at her and he's like, honey, you need to go get it checked. So she was telling us, my friend Jacqueline was telling us the story, and I was like, I started crying. It was like, I was upset. That night I went home, I did my self-exam, which I do almost every month. Maybe I skipped a month or so. And my husband was watching TV, and I looked, I'm feeling something I haven't felt ever. I go to my husband, I was like, can you feel this? And he's like, yes, what is this? And he's like, you need to get it checked. So the next day, I call my doctor, and I get it. I go to my GYN the day after, and she does her physical exam, and she's like, well, does it hurt? I said, no. She's like, that's not a good sign then. I was like, oh, thank you so much. So that was the Memorial weekend, the longest weekend ever. I wait until Tuesday, and they call me to schedule me. They schedule me for Friday. I go there, I do my mammogram, ultrasound, the radiologist brings back his report, and he's like, oh, nothing, dense breast tissue, see you in 6 months. To that moment, you're supposed to celebrate. Say, yay, it's nothing, all my fear are nothing. I was more worried because I knew deep down there's more than just a lump. So I called my GYN, I asked for a referral, and she's like, no, you don't need it. Everything's fine. I said, no, I want it. They send me they send the referral to breast surgeon. The breast surgeon can't see me until October 19th, like October next month. I said, well, I need to be seen, I'm feeling this lump. And they said, well, your test results came back negative, there's nothing, so you're not a priority. But we can do a virtual exam. I was like, how do you do that? She's like, you need to wear like a big white t-shirt. Do you have an access to private room? I said, yes, it's in my house. I can pick any room I want. She's like, okay, the doctor gonna ask you to do some exams on yourself. I said, okay. I was like, can you please squeeze me in somewhere? No, ma'am, sorry, it's just for urgent cases. So literally 2 days before my appointment, the nurse called me and she's like, Baha, we're gonna schedule you. You're gonna come in the office. I said, thank you, Lord. I was worried because she said it looks like urgent, but don't worry. I said, well, I'm Not worried, honestly, because I needed to see the doctor. So I go in, and the doctor, the second she sees me, she's like, I need to send you for an urgent mammogram, 3D mammogram ultrasound. I go there, the same radiologist, Dr. Straight. He's like, well, still believe it's nothing. You just need to wait. It's just dense breast tissues. I said, well. So the girl that gives me all these, like, they have the radiologist, he has his assistant, she comes, tell me the good news. I said, you go back to a radiologist. Tell him, it's my body, it's my breast, I'm feeling a lump. I lost a grandma in her mid-50s. I'm not gonna just wait. So they say, okay, well, this chick is not going anywhere. We're gonna give you a biopsy. So they give me the biopsy. The next week, I do the biopsy. They do a 16-needle biopsy. I still cannot forget the click that it's like, Karen, a breast cancer survivor. Yes, do you remember that sound, the click? So they do that. The next day, I received this phone call. In bed, I was so tired that day. My husband asked me to go to the gym. I said, I can't do it, I'm tired. I'm in my bed, I get a phone call. I was like, is Miss Trower here? She says, yeah, this is her. She's like, I want to give you your biopsy results. You have an invasive lobular carcinoma. I was like, what? I was like, I'm trying to process the words, and I said, what do you mean? What is this? And she's like, I'm sorry, I cannot give you any more information, but would you like to look it up? Like Google it? I was like, what do you mean, like, look it up? Can you just give me? She's like, no, I cannot. So, I get up, I look, I think the mirror is like a common thing. The mirror, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm weeping, crying. I start going in circles in the house. And, I mean, that moment, it just, you know what, your whole reality is shattered. You know, I mean, I knew there was something, but to hear those words, it was devastating. So I started like just crying and like, I didn't know what to do. Then I called my husband and he comes home. He comes home, he hugs me, and then I go around my neighborhood 8 times, which is 8 miles. I keep walking and walking. I call Gina, I call a couple other friends, and I'm crying. I didn't know what to do. And honestly, for the first 3 weeks, I cried myself to sleep every single night. Within that time, we go to MD Anderson, we get like more testing, I come back. But before my treatment, I decided, you know what, I gotta be strong. And that moment when I closed my eyes, I said, you know what, I'm gonna fight this fight, and I'm gonna fight it different. And I don't know if God, probably God, is where you get your strength, and sometimes you don't know how to explain it. But with every single thing that happened with me, the ladies in my life, I have my best friend here, Gina, Jennifer, she came here to support me, and she's been also with me throughout this. Gina, Aubrey is the one who shaved my hair. 12 days after my first treatment, my hair started falling off. I was like, touching it, this is a wig. And it will be falling. She came to my house, and she asked me to put some music. So I started like playing, okay, no, not this one, nah. So I put one song and says, that song, it's called I'm Gonna Be Okay. And she started crying, and I look at her hair, like, no, I cried before you cannot cry. So, and then my daughter comes, she gives me the biggest hug. And you know what, I thought it's gonna be worse. I thought I'm gonna be like a mess. But I felt strong. I had a girl that believed in me, she loves me, she came to give me, and I'm a very private person. I was like, a friend of mine wanted to throw me a shaving party. I was like, oh, what is this? She's like, we'll bring your snacks, your favorite drinks, and we'll shave your head. Every person will hold like the razor. I was like, no, I'm sorry, I'm a very private person. I don't like that. We locked ourselves in a small bathroom, and she did it. But that moment, I felt empowered. I looked at myself in the mirror, I took a couple pictures, sent it to my girlfriends. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, I cannot see myself bald, but I looked at myself, I was like, oh, I look good. So, you You know what? The thing number one that I feel like it's empowering me more, the woman in my life, I keep saying this, the amount of love that I received, the amount of generosity, I mean the food, the flowers, the love notes, the texts, the like inviting me for lunch, dinner, it's been amazing. And I feel like as women, this is one gift that we can give each other. Like a gift that nothing can replace it, nothing materialistic. Our love is just a text. Like receiving those texts, just checking on me made my day. And I feel like as women, we can like enrich each other's life. With my journey, it can be replaced. I mean, cancer is what I'm going through, but can be something else. Abuse, alcoholism, different things can be replaced by cancer. And as women, when we come together, we can move mountains. And for me, this is the mountain that I'm moving. I feel like it's just, thank you. I feel it's like a stage in my life. I never for one time blame God. Like, why me? Like, why God? Why? I'm just, you know what? I'm going through the motion, going through this experience. And I have some people's like, are you in denial? You look happy, you look fine. It's like, you know what? I have a couple bracelets here. One of them says, I got it. Another one says, I effing got this. Because I feel, you know what? I got it. And that's the only way. And I thank God. And if I want to share one thing with you, listen to your inner voice. Don't let go. If something inside of you, I mean, for some people, I was accused of being hypochondriac. I was accused of being like, just trust the system. The doctor told you go home, just go home. And I said, you know what? No, there's something inside of me, was a whisper. Then it became a scream, and I couldn't ignore it. It's just like when something you know your health, you know who you are, and it doesn't sound good. Just trust it, listen to it. If I didn't listen to this, they told me to come back 6 months. I have stage 3 cancer. It spread into my lymph nodes. In January, I don't know where I'll be. So if I didn't trust myself and didn't listen to that inner voice, you know what? God knows what. So listen to your inner voice. If you're in a bad marriage, if you have a toxic relationship, if your health, there's something that doesn't sound right, don't compare yourself to other people, and don't listen to other people, even if they seem to be the experts. Listen to you. I mean, listen to that voice. For the last year, I kept seeing these visions, which I kind of thought maybe it's like some devilish thoughts, and every time I'm Catholic, so every time I hear it, I felt this, I'm like, God, please, I don't want these thoughts, I don't want these thoughts. And a friend of mine, who's like a Mother Teresa for me, she's like, okay, the thing that I was listening and always seeing was a vision of me with breast cancer. I was like, why would I think this way? Why? I mean, I hated every time I thought about it. And she said, Baha, you know, that was the Holy Spirit trying to warn you. Like, it was like those visions, like me with breast cancer, why would I think that way? But that's what gave me like an insight when I was going through my health issues. That was one thing that, you know what, I thank God for that vision, because if I didn't have it, I probably would have not fought for me. And I thank God for listening to my inner voice, because it saved me. I'm still going through treatment. I finished 4 chemos. The 4 chemos were like, I had actually 2 chemos. Every 2 weeks, I would do 2 chemos. And I'm done with phase 1, was supposed to be the hardest, but I did good. Like the 4th treatment was supposed to be the hardest. And I was like, is that how it feels like? Okay, I got it. And next Monday at 11:30, if you want to keep me in your prayers, I'll be starting a new chemo for 12 weeks. After that, I'll be doing a surgery, and I don't know what else, after radiology or whatever. But you know what? I'm in it to win it, and I thank God for being in this room, and I love you, Gina, and we got it.
Thank you for sharing your story. I know it tried to have impacted somebody here needed to hear this, and or somebody here needs to share it with somebody that they know that is going through this. So I believe in stories. In fact, I find it so fascinating. Before this conference, we were hosting Her Story Empowers Others events every month, empowering other women like you with their story. And I'm happy and honored that she was able to share her story today. So thank you, Baha. Thank you very much.